All right, well, so this will be our first meet of the year. A lot of teams have already competed a couple of times throughout the country. The men will start off with our full team together for the first time, including Abdi and Awet. We are better than what we have been in the past. We have some good front runners, and we have a little more depth on the men's side. We are going into a meet with 100 teams at Notre Dame. On the men's side, 100 teams total on the men's and women's side, so it's a massive meet. Unlike last year where we competed in very small competitions all year with 5 or 6 teams at UNLV. UNLV was our home course. This year's back to our kind of regular schedule. On the women's side, going into Notre Dame is again a huge meet. We returned all 7 of our 7 women from last year's 6th place national championship team, as well as adding some in. Our lineup may be a little different this weekend. We haven't exactly decided on what it'll be, but the race is very good. I'm just counting right now. There are probably 10 teams that are ranked in the top 25 that are going to be at that competition. So for us, having not raced, it'll be a little bit of a shock, but that's okay. It'll prepare us for the end of the year, which will be 7 weeks from this Saturday, which are the national championships. The women are led by Adva Cohen and Gracelyn Larkin, who were both All-Americans last year, Amelia Mazza-Downey, who was an NCAA finalist. And then we have a whole group that we've added in, various transfers and freshmen. So we look forward to it. It'll be the first time traveling in a long time that far away. Whoa! Let me shut this off. It'll be the first time traveling in a long time, so that'll be interesting. We are probably going to go back to some of our old COVID policies, which are dinners delivered to the hotels, not eating out. And if we are eating out, we'll be outside. We're going to try to minimize as much risk as we possibly can.
First off, how is it just getting back to a little bit more normalcy? And I'm sure it's helping the program and just getting back to normal.
It is. It's fun just to be able to turn the stereo on at the track soccer stadium and have a great practice. You know, we were out there bright and early this morning, and just the vibe is real positive. Last year it was tenuous all the time. We didn't know what was exactly going on, but we ended up, the entire athletic department ended up having an outstanding year with the challenges / opportunities we were given. And this year everybody's off to a good start, and I just hope to keep up with Heather and John. They keep killing it, which is fantastic. It's so far the fall has been outstanding for everybody.
Coach, what have you seen from Adva coming off her Olympic experience since she's got back into town and just her training?
Her training is significantly better than what it's been in the past. She's always been driven. Her workload has increased. Her fitness as a result has increased. Now that once you experience Tokyo or an Olympics, now you want to make it back in 3 years, which makes it a little easier mentally. She's driven. She is falls in the same mold of the great ones that we've had before.
Coach, what's your mindset going into this upcoming meet? I mean, you said only 7 weeks until the championships. I mean, is this kind of just a stepping stone, or what exactly is this mean to you?
Yeah, it is, because we need some data. You know, objectively, when you look at our training, we know exactly what we're doing objectively. You know, we look at this, we can predict all things equal, we're going to get this. What we don't know is how the group is going to handle it emotionally. How are they going to handle being on a starting line with 24 teams, all going out very hard in a flat course in South Bend, Indiana? So we have the objective data. Now we need to get the subjective, who deals with stress, including coaches, who deals with being around so many people, because the only time we were around people last year was at the national championships, because everything else was very small. So this is our normal patterns with what we've had in the past, being with this meet, and then in 2 weeks we're going to Wisconsin with 35 teams on the starting line. So the volume increases, and that gets us used to running in massive crowds, which can be troublesome at times.
Is there anyone that in particular that you're excited to see compete in this kind of environment again?
Yeah, the whole group. Not only when you go from Abdi and Owet, but Yolo on the men's side, Matt Larkin, who's trained well, and then you go through the women, and you have this group of women that have done it before, and then you have the new group like Abby Goldstein, who transferred from Harvard, Emma Heckel, who is a freshman, Stephanie Parsons, who transferred in. These kids are all very good, so it's just going to be interesting to see how they transition into this race.
Anything else?
Yeah.
What are some differences you've noticed as far as training goes from last year to this year?
Well, we're meeting 3 times a week instead of 2, so that's a big one. No, the training is we have significant depth. We're probably 12 deep, 13 deep, where last year we were 7 deep. 8, we had an injury, but we were probably 7 deep last year. Now we're 12 or 13 deep, so we're literally trying to figure out who's going to run what races when and how to best prepare for November 20th. So some of the things we've done in the past, once we get to the conference and the regional championships, we've been lucky enough to be able to hold people out and be able to get a bigger training block in. We have currently that kind of depth right now where we could rest some people potentially at the conference meet, which is unlikely, but definitely rest some people at the regional meet in order to give them an opportunity to have a 3-week training block.
Any other questions?
For this trip, are you guys fully healthy?
We are.